exported to the cloud. There you go. So guys, opening basics. Before I start the class, I'm just gonna type it in. And guys, you've probably heard this before, but hearing it, learning it does not equal practicing it. So make sure that you learn it, but also practice it. Because I know a lot of people, they hear a bunch of things and they go, I know it. I know what it's saying. I'm good at that. But in reality, they've never practiced it. In reality, when they start playing the game, they go back to their old, fool's made, get the queen out on move 2. So make sure that you don't do that. Let's get on with the actual lessons portion. I'm going to share my screen. There you go. All right, guys. So here are the 3 tips. I'm just going to say it right now, and then we're going to go over each one slowly with examples shown. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you one of my games, which has all 3 of these basics. And simply me following through with them helped me win that game. And it was against a pretty strong player too, like 2080, 2090. So it shows that the fundamentals can get you past a lot of mileage. All right, so principle number 1 right here. These 4 squares are the center. So you want to control the center, and that's why you see a lot of openings. The most common openings, if I pull up Opening Explorer right now, by the way, Opening Explorer just shows the most commonly played openings, and these are all master games. You see that E4 and D4 are the most common played openings. And if you wonder why, you notice that both moves control the center right away. They put a pawn right in the middle, and this pawn is also controlling D5. So 2 of the center squares are in white's control from 1 move. That's why E4 is a great move. D4, extremely common as well. I actually play D4 because, I don't know, I just find this suits me better. Now D4, for example, D5 is a common option to D4. What I like to do if they play D5, this is called the Queen's Gambit. So if you guys have seen this TV show and are wondering what that is, this is the opening, and you go C4. The idea here, if you look at this 4 center squares, E4, D4, E5, D5, all 4 squares, they have, so white has control of these 2, and black has control of these 2. So right now it's equal. But what white's going to do with C4 is white is trying to lure black into taking the pawn. And if black takes the pawn, then white plays E4. And now suddenly look at this. White has 2 pawns on E4 and D4. They're controlling both D5 and E5. So all 4 center squares, white has control over. And this pawn ends up getting captured anyways with the bishop. So this is how the Queen's Gambit works. So remember, guys, these 4 squares, try to keep this in your head the entire opening phase. If you honestly control the center, your opponent will have such a little space, they won't be able to attack you much. Have you guys ever had one of those games where you were just like, you couldn't even touch your opponent? You couldn't even get a single attack going. They were like, you just couldn't do anything. You were so clumped up. Well, that's probably because they had the center the whole game. They kept it. As simple as that. So guys, let's get on with some more examples. And by the way, this simple center principle is the reason why you don't see openings like A4. They are not that common at all, and they're considered bad openings. Or like F3, extremely bad opening. Like opens up the king and doesn't do much for the center. Knight A3, bad opening. H4, bad opening. Notice all these openings that are far away from the center squares are not great openings. So you can see the trend here. Use a Danish gambit. I honestly don't know what that is, but I've probably seen it in my games. I just don't know the game. What if your opponent attacks the pawns? Janine, great job. All right, so what if your opponent attacks the pawns? And your opponent, if they're good, they will. For example, let's say we go here. If your opponent tries something like this, then what you should do I almost want to introduce principle number 2 is when you have a strong center, you want to support it. So if your opponent attacks your pawns, right? You want to support them. There's 2 ways you can support it by pushing. Well, you can do something like this where you refuse to exchange the center, or you can just develop a piece that moves towards your center. And you'll see this so much. And this is principle number 2, develop your pieces. This is the most common one that I don't see a lot of you doing. So guys, I'll stress this one so much in today's class, so it ends in your head. Anyways, let's go into some examples here. Now guys, remember this example, we're focusing on controlling the center. So D4, D5. Actually, this one is the one we just went over. Here's a good one. All right, guys, so E4, not A3. A3 is not a good opening, I don't think. So E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight E7. I want you guys to try to tell me here who's winning and why. Not right now, I'll tell you when. So D4. Remember, always keep these 4 squares in mind. Knight takes. So let's play this on a little bit. Let's say black goes A6, Knight F3, D6, Bishop C4. Now let's go Knight E7. So guys, in this position, I'm going to pause it right here. I want you to try to tell me, whose position do you like better? Who is winning this game and why? Feel free to raise your hand or type in the chat, up to you. B3 or G3 is a bad opening. Okay, Janine, now those are like, there are some really like rare but good openings, and they're actually good openings. And but you gotta, if you play openings like that, you gotta make sure you study the opening. Now B3 and G3, I don't see it a lot ever, but if the guy knows what they're doing, then it is a playable opening, 100%. Guarding the middle, white, chess 2, you're right. And Zeven, cool name, you are correct, Zeven. And okay, so now let's get on to why white is winning. Here's the reason why. Look at the center. Dennis, actually, before I say why, Dennis, you say why.
All right, so because he has a knight, pretty much he has one of the pawns controlling the center squares, and the other pawns on the black are probably not, and that pawn takes 1 step, he dies. And plus, that's why I think white is winning.
Yes, okay, so a very funny explanation. Pawn takes 1 step, he dies. But yeah, your idea is right. This pawn is controlling the center. Austin, let's hear what you have to say, Austin.
Why is the pawn next to another pawn beside 2 of the hoisings?
Yeah, so I see what you're saying there.
Like the white pawn and the black pawn.
Yeah, so
I think like if white moves in front, black's gonna kill him. But if black moves in front, then white's gonna kill him.
yeah, so both guys kind of can't move in front yet. That's right. Both guys can't push yet, so it is all tight right now. And I'll also say this, Chad. What are you saying, Chad? White. Yes, Xiao. Yes, Xiao. So white is winning, and here's why. Basically, first off, this pawn is right in the middle. Also, this knight is also in the middle, which knights are actually pretty strong in the middle.
So my example, when you move that pawn 1 step, then the black pawn can kill him. But if the black pawn moves step, he'll kill him.
Yeah.
And also, once he kills him, the knight's gonna kill him back. I mean the hoisting. I don't know what it's called. But then the other pawn's going to eat the horse.
Yeah, so I really like what you're doing there is you're thinking ahead. You keep on saying, if white goes here, then black's gonna do this. If black goes here, then white's gonna do this.
So
And I really
they
like that. That's what
so
good
they
players
fight
do.
this, then
All right, Austin, you're lagging.
this, and then next is by kill.
Yeah. All right, so all of you guys went over the basics really well. And it's simply right now, white has more at the center, and that is why. And you see, because white has the center so much, black is very clumped up. And you want to aim for a position like white's, where it's very spaced out and big, and a lot of the center is in white's control. Now, if we look at this position here and look at it from black's perspective, this is not good at all. And right now, I'm going to take this time to introduce principle number 2, which is develop your pieces. Guys, not just like pieces, I would say develop your knights and bishops. So I'm going to type that in right now in caps because I want you guys to remember it. So guys, principle number 2, develop your knights and bishops ASAP. What I mean by ASAP is the A stands for as soon as possible. Guys, this is crucial. I see people not developing. You'll see at the game at the end of this class, my 2090 rated opponent fails to follow through with this basic principle. And that was part of the reason he lost. And I'll show you that game too. So guys, some 2000 players even like overlook this principle and it leads to them losing. So imagine if you get good at this. Develop your knights and bishops ASAP. So guys, here, now let's look at black's position. Oh my goodness. This bishop is so clumped up and it's lacking space. Remember last class I went over mobility is important to be able to move a lot of spaces, to be able to have a lot of open space. This is exactly what I mean. White has so much mobility. This bishop, even though it's not developed, has so many options. This is great. This bishop, so many options. This knight, both in the center, so many moves, so much area control. But look at black's pieces. Let's like white castle. Look at black's pieces. This knight, they're very clumped up. These bishops cannot move. They don't have a single move. And this is why black, it's going to take him a long time to develop. And in the meantime, white can get an attack going. All right, guys, remember, develop your pieces. Develop, 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 develop. And that's the title of this one right here is develop. And I'm gonna, in the meantime, send the link, not the link, the study link. So you guys can follow along if you wish. It is optional. So guys, develop your pieces. E4, E5, knight C3, knight F6. So I'm gonna play this game along, guys, until I move 10. And I want you guys to tell me who is winning and why. Who is playing better and why. I want you guys to, by looking at the game, try to tell me who is a better player. So I'll just play it along. Knight G2. Knight goes here. Castles. Pawn goes to H4. Knight goes to C3. Knight goes to F5. Black strikes the center. The knight retreats because if they take, then this knight is hanging. So that's why white retreated. Pawn pushes. Knight retreats. Bishop goes here. All right, guys, I'm going to pause this right here. I want you to tell me who is playing better and why. The why is important. And by the way, this is move 8. Move 8. And how many pieces has white developed? How many pieces has black developed? It's actually pretty funny. Let's go Dennis, and then Austin.
All right. Okay, so I think black is pretty much stalling white because he like already got his both of his bishops and knights out, and white didn't even get a single bishop out, and his knight is causing more trouble.
Yeah, 100,000%. Let's go. Black has more moves and has the center. Oh, I love that you said that. The center. Black's got 2 pawns right in the center. Let's go, Austin.
So I think we can like do the thing when they just use this finger and this. It's like kind of like getting them away. I don't know which side you should use. Well, anyway, just I think you can do it. I think you can't, but there's 2 punch deflecting, so iPod cannot really get it away. So we have to use a better way to make it good. So we have to use one of our more pieces. I don't know which, but I think you can move your second pawn. The pawn that is in 4-8.
All right.
One.
So, oh, okay. All right, Austin, thank you for your input. I like how in-depth you get. I like, so, and like players that tend to really just like think it in depth about a simple move, they actually tend to be pretty good players in the long run. So I like that. And you're so young. All of you are so young. One of the white's knight is blocking its own bishop. Yeah, guys, like try to avoid blocking your own bishop like that, especially because we want to develop ASAP, right? So if we're blocking our own pieces, it's gonna make us take long to develop. All right, so let's go back here. Let's see why. So I'm gonna first look at it from Black's perspective here. So 1 minor piece developed, knight. 2nd minor piece developed, bishop. Castles, I love this. And this is principle number 3, by the way, is castle or protect your king as soon as possible as well. Because if you don't protect your king, it'll get attacked. And we'll see that in a future example. For now, focus on principle number 2, develop your pieces. 2 minor pieces developed. And white here plays h4. If white had an actual attack going, that'll be great. But right now, white's not even done development. So white shouldn't be thinking about attack right away. So that's why h4 kind of wastes white time. White should have just developed another piece. Knight c3, 3rd minor piece developed. And then it strikes the center and allows the 4th bishop to develop. Amazing move. Black retreats, pushes the center right away. And notice all these pieces that Black has developed are all directed at the center. So this knight is directed at the center. This bishop is directed at the center. This knight is directed at the center. So really good coordination by Black. And then 4th minor piece develops. So guys, one last thing. If you look at white here, I think this is one of the reasons white fell so behind in development. Is I want you guys to count how many times this G1 knight moved. And I want to play the game along. So everybody, when I play the next 10 moves now, I want you to count how many times does this knight on G1 move? And then type in that number when I finish this. So guys, here we go. Get ready. Count me the number of times this knight moves. So knight c3, knight g2, knight g3, h4, knight f5, knight g3. Now this other knight moves the 2nd time. So guys, what is the number you got there? How many times did that knight move? 4. So guys, this knight moved 4 times. This is why white, so this was white's mistake. Never move or avoid moving the same piece multiple times in openings. So guys, imagine, I misspelled that, but it's okay. Imagine if guys, instead of moving this knight 4 times, white could have developed or moved 4 different pieces. And white would have been in a way better position. And also this knight moved twice. And now look at how many times black's knight moved. Like once, that's it. And then next piece. So guys, develop your pieces ASAP. And now principle number 3, guys. And this one is so basic, but still not very common or not very commonly used in early stages of the game. So guys, I swear to you, follow these 3 principles religiously, and you will be able to last way longer in your games. You won't be losing on like move 5 anymore. All right, guys, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Now, I have some questions. What if you castle and they force your king into a corner and checkmate it? Okay. And so Janine, good point there. And that also depends on the timing of your castle. Now, I do want to talk about that a bit. Nice one. Let's go. Let's see here. So I have some questions here. Let's go. I'll answer one question for now. Let's go Dennis for now. And then I'll do the example more.
Actually, I have a solution for that. A kind of a solution. Works for me.
Okay.
So I moved my pawn after development, the castles, and I moved the pawn on h2 or whatever you castle. Then that gives the king a space to move.
Okay, interesting. So I see what you're doing there. So h2 and then your king can go here. You can do that. But now, one other thing you can do is, so I'll show you literally. So let me just let white castle first, and then it'll be easier to show you. So guys, watch white here. I love this. So move 1, so move 2, move 3, bishop develops, move 4, castles right away. So you guys might be thinking, what if our opponent comes and checkmates our king when it's castled? So guys, this is where chess is almost like a race in that. So if black attacks us first, yes, that is definitely possible. But the thing is, it's going to take black a long time to attack our king when it's castled, when it's in the corner. So guys, when it's in the corner, it takes our opponent longer to reach it. And that gives you time to counterattack. So make sure you're counterattacking. And my favorite way to counterattack an opponent that's attacking your king is to counter in the center. But because it's so hard when you're controlling the center for your opponent to attack you. So my question to that would be just keep attacking the center. But it is a more complex topic, so we won't touch too much on it, but we will in the future. All right, guys, so I'm gonna play until I move 10 and just let me know who's winning. So black strikes the center, which, okay. So white takes, black takes. So it doesn't look too bad, but I don't know. Let's see. The knight develops. So here, white played. I don't think this is a good move for white. Queen e5. So ignore queen e5, but before queen e5, guys, who is winning here? If you were to pick who is winning, who would you pick? Now, this is a little interesting one because technically, black is slightly ahead in development, but still, who would you pick here? Really look at the entire position and see, who looks easier to play with, white or black? White, black. Wow, okay, now we're split. Black, white. Let's go, Austin. Who do you think, Austin?
I think like the queen can get away the hoisting. I don't know what the hoisting is called, but
Knight.
then if the queen gets it away, the pawn will get it away.
Okay, so queen can get the horse. Okay.
If the horse moves to g4, then the queen can kill him without any protection.
Okay, so interesting there. So very interesting. And so you're saying, yeah, if black can't go here because the queen can go here. That's right.
Yeah, but
Now,
black has to stay there to survive.
yes.
So
Austin. Oh, sorry, Austin. My bad. But yeah, Austin, thank you so much. What you said was good. And yeah, I do think let's actually just go she out here and then I'll explain more in detail. Remember, why is blank winning?
Um, actually, I think I changed my mind now.
Okay.
Black is kind of winning because its queen is very open right now.
Ah, oh,
Too.
okay. Interesting.
Also, black has a good move. If it attacks white's pawn on d5, then white will retaliate. White can only retaliate with 2 attacks, while black can retaliate with 3.
So this is a pretty higher level concept that you touched there. So thanks for mentioning that. So you're correct. I'm seeing a lot of reasons here. That's right. This pawn, black does have a lot of pressure on this pawn. And guys, like, I'll tell you this, black would have been so winning this game if this king wasn't here. And guys, this is where I'm going to introduce principle number 3, protect your king. Now look at a white's king. It's in the corner. It's out of harm's way. But look at black's king. Oh my goodness gracious. Look, it's right open. Right open. So guys, the king is the priority here. And black's king is not castled yet. It still needs to develop the bishop and castle. So guys, like 100% here, white is winning because of this bad king. Now, I'm going to take this a step further. I want you guys to try to find me a good move for white, a better move than queen e5, because queen e5 was a bad move because black just defends with the bishop, and now black can castle on the next move. But there's a better move, because right now, white just got 2 pieces into play. Can white take advantage of this open king and get more pieces into play? Oh my goodness, so many hands up. Let's go. Ivan.
Just saying, my dad won by keeping his king in the same place for the whole game.
So that is impressive by your dad. And if you're a very skilled if you're a very skilled player, you can pull it off, but you'll have a much easier time if you just get your king safe.
I got my king safe and I lost.
Okay, so, but I mean, you probably lasted long. All right, let's go. Let's do one more question here. Yeah, guys, what is a good move for white here? Instead of queen e5, sorry. Let's go. Let's go. Dennis. I don't think Dennis answered for a while. Let's go, Dennis.
Okay. I feel like I'm taking every question for no reason. How about we play rook, something like I don't know, it's just guess. But rook e1 has that.
So, Dennis, one thing I would suggest to you is just like even if you're not very sure, actually no, that's not a good tip, but like just have like that confidence. And if you're like, I don't know if rook e1 is it, just be like, nope, rook e1 is the best move because blank blank.
Yeah.
And just
I'm
like
thinking rook e1. Okay, I screwed stuff up now.
rook e1,
e1
100%. Rook e1. Also, another possible move is actually bishop b5, but it gets a little complex. Bishop g5 is possible too, but I like rook e1 the best, and that's just because. Sorry, rook e1. Now we have developed our rook now. Now our rook is into play, and that's also the benefit of castling early, is you can start playing your rooks early. And guys, when rooks, they take a while to get into the game, but once they're into the game, they are so powerful. Apart from the queen, rooks are the most powerful piece. 2 rooks are actually just as good. sometimes even better than a queen. So keep that in mind. Now, black is gonna defend with the bishop and try to castle. And here, white has a lot of good moves, a lot of good ways to stop black from castling. And my favorite way is just simply now queen e5. Now white's got two pieces on the bishop, so black cannot castle. If black castles, now the king is no longer defending the bishop, and white can just take. And guys, all this crazy pressure, this crazy attack, all came from one mistake by black, which is black never castled early. Black's king was right in open fire. When your king is in the middle, guys, pieces on the right, pieces on the left can all reach it. Wait, Xiao, why are you saying wait? Here you go, Xiao, what do you think?
Since you can't castle during check, how about white just move its bishop on c4 to b5?
Yeah, so this was actually one of the more complex moves, and this move actually does work. And it's actually a very good move because if the knight blocks, then white can take this pawn and cause a whole lot of chaos on this side. And if the pawn blocks, then this also gets a little complex, but white has quite a few options here. White actually has this crazy move here. And this does involve higher level concepts, but basically, guys, I'm gonna play the move. We don't have much time to play the move, but you guys can think about this on your own time. But here, white has pawn to d6, which is an insane move because the bishop's in a pin. You know what? I'll go back into this example, into this game, in a future lesson when we go over pins, because then you'll understand it better. For now, just understand that black lost because his king stayed in the middle, and white won because he castled early. So guys, 3 principles are, number 1, you wanna center. Always be thinking about the center. Control the center. Number 2, develop all minor pieces ASAP, as soon as possible. And number 3, what you want to do is you want to castle, protect your king, because if your king is in harm's way, then nothing else matters. Your king is priority number 1. You lose your king, you lose the game. All right, guys, so I'm going to go on chess.com, and I am going to, I'm going to show you one example game, one of my games, where I won against a pretty high-level opponent just by using those 3 principles. So guys, we got this game right here. I am black, and let's take a look at this now. So he played this opening, and don't worry about the opening itself right now. Just focus on what I do with the center, and also focus on my minor pieces and how fast they get developed. All right, guys, let's play the game along. Knight develops. 1 out of 1 minor piece. Pawn goes to e6. So pawn goes to c5 to kind of push this center pawn out of the way. Other knight develops. Second piece developed. Third piece developed. Bishop develops. Castles. Protects the king. Principle number 3, check. Now we go pawn b6. Now, why do you think I played pawn b6? Because shouldn't I be developing a piece here? Why did the pawn go here? Let's go Austin. Remember, we have 3 minor pieces developed so far.
I think so. That white piece is gonna kill the black piece, but then the black piece is gonna kill the white piece. So black is actually winning a little.
Yeah, so I love how you say kill, kill, kill. So violent, but so, it gets the point across. Yeah, so that's right. If the pawn takes, we can just take back. More importantly, guys, notice how we have to develop this bishop right now. And our choices are going like d6, bishop here, or b6, bishop here. And I thought that going b6, bishop b7 would give me a longer diagonal. Oops, this bishop would have a long diagonal to work on. That's why I played here. So takes. So white, I don't think this is a good move by white. The reason is because notice that white still has one minor piece left to develop. And white actually never develops this knight. And that's why I think white lost this game. And this is a 2090 player, guys. He was actually 2100 before I beat him. So that level player still makes basic mistakes like this. So imagine how good you could get or how long you could last if you don't make these basic principles mistakes. So guys, knight goes here, bishop develops here. Queen attacks my bishop, so I just simply play my queen to c7 to protect my pieces and connect my rooks. So bishop goes here, trying to attack my queen. And now, guys, this is the pivoting moment. This is like when I really started winning the game. And I want you guys, I'm going to play the next 3 moves. And I want you guys to try to tell me why black suddenly started winning in the next 3 moves. For now, guys, look at these center 4 squares. White's got a knight in the center. And watch what happens to the center in 3 moves. All right, guys, watch this. And I'm just doing really basic stuff here. I'm not doing anything fancy, any fancy attacks. So pawn d6, knight retreats. Pawn e5, bishop retreats. Pawn d5, knight retreats. And then pawn to c4. So guys, this is when I knew, okay, I'm winning this game now. And I even go here afterwards. But basically, guys, up until this point, why do you think black suddenly started winning? And try to use one of the principles to back this up. Let's go, Ivan.
First of all, you were already better than him.
Well, technically, but still, like, I still don't have like an easy match.
If
Like,
you beat a 3000 IQ or a 3000 point player, tell us.
Yeah, like, so.
On Lead Chess, you're only 1600.
Yeah, it's because like I don't play a lot on that one. Chess.com is my focus. You know, Lead Chess, I also give a lot of points away by just like resigning against one of my students. But my level is like around this range, like 2100. Last night I hit 2200 for the first time in Blitz, but that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so guys, main point here is this.
Don't mute me, please.
Look at these center 4 squares. I make sure my pieces are defending them, and then I slowly gain tempo, attack the piece, and then I gain control of the center squares. Now center, center, center. And suddenly white is losing hard right now, all because we have full control of the center. And from here on, I had a pretty easy time. I had lots of tactical opportunities open up just because I controlled the center. Let's take one more question. Let's go, Xiao.
I don't have a question, but oh, that way you answer it.
All right, that's okay, Xiao. Thank you for trying. So let's go. So here I developed my rook because I realized all my pieces are developed, so time for my rooks to come into play. And notice how I put my rook right here, defending the center pawns. He did take my pawn here, but I was kind of planning on him taking. So I did a mini trick here. Now I've got a discover attack on the knight. So I attack the queen and attack the knight. And these are more tactics, but basically, guys, the moral of the story here is all of this opened up because I followed the basic principles. Let's recap this one more time. I control the center, especially towards the end. I castle, protect my king, and I develop these guys right away ASAP. So guys, look at this. Minor piece, and also white never develops this knight. Very bad. 3 minor pieces right away. Castles, developed in the bishop, and then just gaining control of the center, and then from here, tactics opened up, and I won the game. So guys, remember, the basic principles got me this win, and they will to you too as well. I'm going to stop the recording. Does any